Hey everybody, it's Kakarot. I play Feral on a controller, and I'm back again with another update, which I know is spoiled in the title, but I hit Legend. It's not a goal that I had set for myself at the start of all of this because I wasn't sure that it would be attainable, but I'm really excited, really happy about achieving it. In this video, I want to share my success and talk about two incredibly important factors for my climb that I think are widely applicable and repeatable: my solo shuffle mentality and self critical VOD reviews. I'm going to share a bit of my philosophy and hopefully help some people who are too anxious to lose rating so they stop queuing, or too frustrated at the whole experience so they stop queuing, or worse, they rage queue, which brings down the quality of the lobby for everyone. And then I'm going to take you through a live self critical VOD review of the lobby I got Legend in, which isn't this one, so I'm just going to let this footage roll while I talk. I hope you find something in here helpful, and if you do, please let me know in the comments. I don't really care about likes or subscriptions. I want to know what you think, what your reaction is to any of this, positive or negative. So, brief bit of background on me. I've only played on a controller for Dragonflight. Uh, just before Dragonflight launched, I suffered a grade 5 shoulder separation, and it's been varying degrees of uncomfortable, painful, and at times just impossible to keep my arm raised to a desk for any extended period of time. So I had to find a way to still play the game, and that answer was to try it on a controller. And honestly, I've enjoyed the experience so much that I'm going to keep playing it on a controller even after I've fully healed. As far as my PvP experience, I can keep this section short. There's basically none. I really only started seriously playing PvP in Shadowlands, and even then I felt like I didn't have the time to play the LFG grind. And I also felt anxiety about being kicked from a group because I didn't know what I was doing. One memory sticks out clearly when I was kicked from my group for not killing the Psyfiend. And honestly, they were right to kick me because not only did I not know where or when the Psyfiend was used, I didn't even know what it did. But that's honestly why I've loved Solo Shuffle. It has allowed me to get the reps that I needed in to understand the ebb and flow of the game, to understand each different class and spec and my own spec, my duties, my responsibilities, and abilities to pressure offensively, to save defensively, to employ my utility and CC and positioning to turn the tides of the game. I've played, I think, just under 2,700 games. I peaked at just under 2,800 rating, and I'm sitting now in the mid 2,400s. I intend to keep queuing, not with my sights set on rank 1, but rather on just getting better. Which brings me to what I want to say about mentality. Solo shuffle is tough if you're not mentally tough. There are daily compilations out there now of people losing their minds in various rounds of solo shuffle. And while it makes for fun content, I don't think it's conducive to setting yourself up for success. A perfect analogy for climbing in solo shuffle is the myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus, a cruel Greek king who cheated death twice, was sentenced to push a boulder up a hill for the rest of eternity, except every time he neared the top, the boulder would roll back down the hill. This maps on well to solo shuffle in two ways. Our rating completely resets every season, rolling the boulder all the way down to the bottom of the hill. And on a smaller scale, in my climb at least, every new tier that I've reached has been followed by a small backslide. When I hit 2,100, I slid back to 1,800. When I was just about to hit 2,400, I slid back to about 2,200. I think that happened maybe even two or three times. Even now, I was so nearly at 2,800, and I've slid all the way back to 2,400. But that doesn't stop me. I want to keep getting better. And like Sisyphus, we've got three options. First, Sisyphus can give up because the boulder will always just roll back down the hill. So what's even the point? I would compare this to experience something like ladder anxiety, being so worried about losing rating, about your boulder sliding down the hill, that you don't queue at all. Second, Sisyphus can grow frustrated at his fate, cursing the gods who condemned him to it, and he can push the boulder out of sheer spite and rage and frustration, And this we've seen all too much, right? I mean, this is what's in the compilations. People rage queuing, which for me brings down the quality of the lobby for everyone involved, honestly. But finally, Sisyphus can find the joy in pushing the boulder, in getting a little bit further up the hill before it rolls down, or in getting there faster or with fewer slips. Camus is a French philosopher who wrote about the myth of Sisyphus. He says, "The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy." And this to me is the sweet spot, in my opinion. When you can get here, when you can focus on the finding the joy in the struggle itself, in the climb itself, for me it means that you're focusing on just getting better. You're not concerned with the rating number. You're not concerned with unfair lobbies or maps that don't favor you. You're simply concerned with the task ahead, with pushing whatever boulder is placed in front of you up whatever hill you find yourself on, in the best, most efficient way possible. And when you get there, when you imagine yourself as Sisyphus and you imagine yourself happy, I think that's what it means to be in the zone in a setting like Solo Shuffle. That's how you can best set yourself up for success, mentally speaking. And what that means, practically speaking, is that you must focus on your gameplay, on what you can do to improve. And for that, I'd like to take you through a raw example of that exercise with a self-critical VOD review for the lobby that I got Legend in. I haven't reviewed this footage yet. I know I played pretty well, but I also know there are certainly things I could have done better. So I'm going to switch over to that, and I hope you enjoy. So this is going to be my self-critical VOD review of the lobby that I got Legend in. We are on Blade's Edge, which is can be a very fun map for Feral. I'm going to be looking to get bashes and typhoons off on the enemy healer, and we've got an interesting lobby. It is nice that we've got targets in pretty much every round. I'm going to want to be attacking the hunter and attacking the shaman when he's off my team. Now, something that I need to do better is not going up this middle ramp. I will say I'm pretty sure this hunter never used flare the entire time, at all in this lobby, or even like sent a trap over here. He very easily could have gotten me out of stealth. It is many times a trap to go up this middle ramp, but it works out. And I see the warrior for some reason running all the way under the map. I'm not positive what the strategy is there, but I'm taking tabs on where the enemy team is, and I like how spread out they are. I don't really have any tools right now to get the hunter out of stealth, even though I'm pretty sure he's probably right around here. So this warrior is going all the way around the map. He's going to come up this ramp. This seems like a good place to attack him, to rake stun, and maybe force his healer to push in. Yep, so his healer pushes in. I actually end up getting the hunter out in with a thrash there. He pops everything, so I pop everything back, and immediately try to rake stun him. I get all of my bleeds up on. He's still got one last tick of Feral Frenzy, but he also has the Frenzy Band bleed from the Feral Frenzy because I'm in the middle of Incarn. So because I know I've got a ton of pressure on him right now, I leap over for a bash on the healer, and I want to Typhoon him off, which I do successfully. Here, it would have been perfect to probably get, even though he is on DRs here, probably would have been perfect to get a half maim on him right here, because I think he's still, for the second at least, out of line of his healer. I didn't get that, and he turtle, but we forced turtle anyway. I'm glad that I didn't put a maim into the turtle. He cancels the turtle right away, and stone skins off my bleeds. We just reapply them. And now I'm just trying to cleave. I'm not under any pressure. The more pressure I can keep up on this hunter, the better off we're gonna be. He has to use a trap on me, which is fantastic. I don't kick the mind games because I don't have kick. What did I kick? It looks like... Oh, I tried to kick the flash heal, but I got juked. Unfortunate, but it happens. That could have ended... If I had landed that kick, could have ended the round right there. But so it goes. We have a lot of pressure. I'm hoping that my Ellie doesn't die. I'm looking for another Typhoon. And I actually get the perfect situation here. I'm looking for a Typhoon on this Priest, which is really hard to set up on a controller, honestly. He should have seen that that this is what I was going for. He doesn't see it. I also don't get the kick. I could have very easily gotten the kick on the penance. And I'm letting my bleeds fall off on the hunter. Not the best of situations, but it works out for us because I end up getting a double Typhoon. The hunter disengages back onto the platform while his priest is completely knocked down and going to be out of line of sight for a good bit, leaving the hunter alone. He does get intervened, but the warrior, I think, does not stay close enough to have intervene work. Plus, intervene goes down, and we get a bite proc, and we're able to finish that round. Pretty good round. Missed a kick, missed another kick right before that second Typhoon. If I had hit those, the round probably ends a lot sooner. But good on my healer and my Ellie for staying alive. Under decent pressure from the warrior. Luckily, I was able to completely contain the marksmanship hunter. He had a little bit of burst at the beginning, but not enough. So we go into this one. Again, there's nothing. I'm not sure why this shaman is not placing a totem right here. The Entangling Roots totem. Don't know why that's not going down. Especially since last round he saw me run right up the middle. That's something, if you are a hunter, if you are a shaman, and you see stealth classes on your teams, you should be paying attention to how they approach, especially in an arena like this. You can get them out of stealth a lot. I mean, this is a 2400 game, and I'm still doing that. You will see in later rounds that I do go up the far ramp completely unnecessarily, as it turns out, because, again, neither the shaman or the hunter are using this stuff. So I start here on the shaman. I am pushed in way too far. My position is not very good. However, I'm pretty certain that this team has said we're going hunter. I'm not the best of targets. This hunter just died last round as well. So I'm pretty sure that they said we're going to go hunter. So I'm not really thinking that I am going to be the main target. I get stunned, so I trade Barkskin into it, and sure enough, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the warrior runs away. Now, I do want to kill this totem right away. We've already got a defensive from the healer, and we've got the BM trinket. I get a nice, you have to be ready to get knocked back, and I'm pretty sure this is about the only time that I got knocked and had leap ready right away. But this worked out well. The rescue is nice, brings them into a better area for me to full cleave. So let's see how good I do at full cleaving. I apparently went for a Typhoon instead. That's fine. Now, if I had gotten a maim on the shaman up here, that ends the round. If I get a maim, full maim right here, doesn't really matter that my bleeds are falling off. My hunter is right here. He's pointed right at the Ellie. We could have ended this. I don't think this Emerald Communion goes through line of sight, so we could have ended this right here if I just get the maim. So that's a misplay. I decide instead to go and try and put my bleeds up, and the shaman's able to recover a little bit. We get a scatter on the healer, and then everyone's just downstairs. So as soon as the shaman starts coming up, in this situation, I don't want to jump down and fight them on the ground. I want to wait for them to come back up. If they're gonna put any pressure on us, they're gonna have to come all the way back up. So I'll wait for the shaman to come around. They're now in a nice spot where I can cleave onto them. I wasn't the biggest fan of that boop, but such is life. Now they're staying down. Now they understand a little bit. But I see that the healer gets trapped, so I kind of got to go in. Kill the grounding totem. I don't want him to self-heal. I know that their self-heals can be big. I did get stunned around a corner. Don't love that, so I have to trinket. But I have all of my defensive back up. Here again, I think this is a mistake by the shaman. He comes all the way back up. He's not going to 100-0 anybody, especially with only 30% dampening, and our healer hasn't been under nearly as much pressure as the enemy healer. So I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to do. I don't think he's going to one-shot. He's now in a pretty bad spot, and I did not have my leap ready, which is frustrating. Now here I want to point out that I ran back and they are all focused on me now. My team is over here, my hunter is way over here. And the warrior has just run back. He's focused on me. This is going to be the first time that I'm in trouble. So I definitely do not chase the shaman behind this corner. Even though I need to kill this totem, it's better to be in a safe spot. I'm in a stun, so I trade my Barkskin. It's deep into dampening, so if I take any more damage here, I'm probably going to have to spend my wall. This is a great dome, a fantastic dome. It gives me total freedom to just sit here and cleave and just put out a ton of pressure. Incarn comes back up, so I try to put out pressure. I wall. I can put out free pressure while I'm walled, but now my wall has fallen off, and I'm about to be in trouble if they look at me again. Luckily, they do not look at me again. We get a trap, but an immediate boop, and now I'm in trouble again. So now I just run. It's gotten to the point where we are now 56% dampening. Everyone on their team is pretty low, and I know the killing power, the finishing power, I would say, of a marksmanship hunter. So my thought process is get out of there, live. That's all we need to do. So I run, I get caught by the warrior. I shift out of the route because I just need to make sure that he doesn't connect to me. And sure enough, he's standing right next to our hunter who kill shots. Fantastic. A bit of a sketchy round. A few things that I could have done better there. Been more prepared for the shaman's boops. I definitely lost track of bashing. I'm pretty sure that I might have only put out one bash in that 3-minute round. Same with Mames. My Mames were not great. I pointed out the moment where I had the opportunity to completely seal the round with a Mame. Didn't do that. So my stuns need to be much more on point. I don't think that I kicked very well. I basically just PvE'd that round, and that's why it was so close. I just did not do a good enough job of crowd controlling, of using my kicks. So that's going to be something that I need to focus on even more in future rounds. Um, Pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the warrior flames his team a little bit, which is always a fun situation. I don't know if he's exactly right, but dampening was super high, so he's probably right that that was their last chance. Again, I go up the middle with my warrior next to me. Why is there no entangling roots totem here? I don't know. But we're able to get on top of them immediately. I position myself in such a way that I don't need to leap in that GCD, but I still have it and I used it, and now I'm just able to start cleaving. The shaman gets cauterized, which is a frustrating thing, but I'm just in their face doing so much damage to them. Pretty happy with this. I'm always aware of nullifying shroud, and I think that he was ready for me to bash. So he Emerald Communioned early, I think, to avoid that. So we force out a lot of cooldowns. Shaman has nothing left. The Evoker has just about nothing left. I think it looks like even the, unless I've got a UI error here, even the Hunter has nothing left. So we've had an amazing opener. Here I saw the Warrior Stormbolts, right? I believe that he Stormbolts the Shaman. Yeah, right there. So I'm immediately looking to get a Maim on the Evoker. So as soon as I'm 5 combo points, I get a big Maim. And we're just going to be able, I think, to push down this Evoker, or this Shaman, and eventually he's just not going to have any pressure. I do see the Hunter walking towards my healer, so I tried to make sure that he wouldn't be able to continue any CC chains. Luckily, my healer is very self-sufficient. He gets the fear off. But I see, again, my Hunter has no cooldowns left. So as long as we survive, we're eventually going to get to a point where we can secure a kill. And it's a big if we're going to survive. The Hex goes off. I dispel the Hex as soon as I can. And pretty much everyone is just dying here. I finally get the Maim at a good time. I'm not sure. I think the Evoker was just trying to kite. I think everyone was trying to kite. But I finally get the Maim in a good spot, and we're able to finish the Elisham. I missed kicks. I had bash up. I think I had bash up. Yeah. I had bash up, although there's nullifying. In a situation like this, my bash button is a focus macro. What I need to be doing is switching my focus, right? I need to be switching it to the Hunter to stop some pressure on that's coming in on my warrior. But overall, a good round. We were just on the front foot the whole round. Again, could have been better on my kicks. Could have been better on my maims. Um, you know, in my best rounds, I'm always looking at the DRs, always looking at um, when the stun DRs are going to fall and following that up with a maim immediately. Because if you can get trinkets out and you can get those maims basically on CD, uh, you're just going to get so much momentum rolling, so much good pressure that you're able to win games just on that alone. This, if I remember correctly, my evoker just flops. Yeah, so we lose this round. So what could we have done better? We go up the middle again. Again, we do not get totemed or anything. We position in a good, we stun and we position in a good way. We are expecting, shamans almost always use their ability, their push ability, as soon as they get stunned. Because they can use it in a stun, it's one of the only things they can use in a stun. They're going to use it almost every time. So we stun, and we position in a good way that we're not going to get blown off the map. Our hunter misses his trap, and then I break the trap, probably. I don't think it got dispelled because the priest is in the middle of a cast. I break the trap almost immediately. But our shaman's on stun DR. I've popped Incarn. So we're going hard. I missed my stealth rake stun, it looks like. I'm not sure what it was that broke my stealth right away. Let me see if I can see it here. No, maybe it's you know what it probably is that I probably was entering my buttons too quickly and didn't even. This is my L2 page of bindings. So if I hold down L2 as a modifier, all of these buttons come up. If I don't have any modifiers down, my square button is rake. And I think what happened was I stealthed and brutal slashed instead. Yeah, I was just holding L2 down this whole time. So that's frustrating. Their warrior super popped off, and just had everything up and got a kick up. Now, here's what I was paying attention to. I had played a lobby earlier in the night with this evoker, and I remember seeing this. I remember seeing, that he's using oppressive roar, whatever it is, and so I move in and I get the bash on the healer, a nice long 5-second bash. What I should have seen is that he's kicked. He's at half health. What I should have seen, first of all, I should have gotten my rake stun on the shaman. That would have stopped something. We would have had a few seconds of the shaman being stunned and then be silenced. But what I should have seen is that this warrior is absolutely just smashing my healer. I should have, instead of bashing the priest, should have switched my focus. Should have bashed the warrior. And I also had something like Typhoon available. There's a lot of stuff that I could have done. My evoker wasn't kiting him a ton. One of the areas that I do know that I need to improve on is getting roots out. I definitely do not get enough. I don't get enough roots out, and that's an area that I've been trying to focus on. Not making a ton of progress yet, but we shall see. So I switch back out of my shaman-based spec, which is nice. It gives me a little bit more defensive capability um, instead of remove corruption. So a tough round. You know, it happens very quickly. So I've just spent 4 rounds. I've now had 2 rounds, I believe, with the hunter. Um, he's seen me go up the middle both times. He still has not flared once this whole game, but if he does, it's gonna be in that middle ramp. He doesn't. Oh well. So I dash to kind of get in there, and as it turns out, timing is perfect. He just pops true shot. He just started a rapid fire, so I get a perfect rake stun. I don't know why he should be close enough. This evoker, who's in the middle of casting Nullifying Shroud, should be close enough to get stunned, but he doesn't. Such is life. He gets the shroud up. Um, and the hunter gets blasted to Timbuktu. So I am not gonna I'm not gonna immediately chase the hunter. I'm gonna wait for him to be back in range, and then I'm going to switch to him. Great news is he's had all of 2 seconds on his true shot aura. Um, he only has 6 seconds left. I believe I haven't even incarned yet, so I've got my incarn second rake stun. Um, and I've got some bleeds now rolling on the warrior. So I've got some spread pressure going. We get the second rake stun out. True shot aura is over. We get BM and Roar of Sacrifice. So much pressure on this hunter that, again, he's using CC on me, right? I get the stun out of the way so my healer doesn't have it. Scary moment there. I end up having to wall. But we trade wall for turtle. And I screw up my Typhoon. Now, the Typhoon, not only did I screw it up, but it's probably just not even the right play there. He's got turtle, this hunter's got turtle, and I should be seeing him waddle his way towards my healer. So what I should be doing is leaping back to my healer. And there is a macro. I don't use the macro hardly ever, but you can shift out of form and use wild charge to leap back to your healer, leap back to a friendly target. And that will oftentimes do a very good job of soaking up the trap. So I should have seen him waddling towards my healer, getting ready to trap, and I should have soaked that up. But I missed it. So luckily my shaman has wall. I do a much better job on the maim here. And now I'm just able to get some spread pressure. I'm not about to chase. I've learned enough. I've played enough rounds that I know. If I chase that hunter right there, I die. The warrior's pushing in. The dragon's pushing in. He could very easily sleepwalk my healer. I'm already low health. I've already used wall. I've Barkskin coming up in 2 seconds, but that's not going to save me from a rapid fire, from an aim shot, from a kill shot, certainly. And I'm still 10 seconds away from Maim even being off cooldown, plus the 3 extra seconds of the stun DR. So I pull back. There's no reason for me to keep pushing in. I pull back in bear. I don't love this dome. I feel like there was an opportunity earlier to just dome me. I know that they're going on the shaman, but I will say that throughout this round, we've already shown that I can put out enough pressure on the hunter to make and the evoker to make this warrior come back. So I don't love the dome on top of the shaman, on top of this warrior, but I want to make my healer happy. So I'm going to switch targets. I'm going to hit whatever I can in the dome. It is nice we're doing some pretty good damage to the evoker. The evoker has had a tendency, as you've seen in this round, to in this lobby, to kind of kite a little bit too far. So he like sprints away, and as he does that, the hunter steps up. This warrior is also sitting low, but I see a great opportunity to get onto the hunter. Of course, I get immediately booped. And now the evoker's back in, but I have Feral Frenzy into a rip, into a bite, and the hunter is just gonna fall over. So could have done better. I did have Maim available for the hunter. Or even the I didn't have Bash up. You can see here, still had 5 seconds left on Bash, but I did have a Maim for the healer. That would have probably been the better play, especially after a Feral Frenzy. You do want to follow I want to follow a Feral Frenzy up with either a Maim on that target or a Maim on the healer almost every time. So it's been a pretty good lobby so far. 4 wins out of 5. Let's see. I think we bring it home. This is, this evoker has not had a good time with the hunter. Again, I'm not positive what this warrior is doing. Our evoker, I'm a little bit scared because our evoker just fell over earlier in the lobby. There's finally, I think this is one of the first Entangling Roots ones that I saw, totems that I saw. I definitely forgot that we said shaman. But this rescue was great because he brought me right back to the shaman. I do a really bad job of killing the Counter-Strike totem. I do an equally bad job of killing the Sky Fury totem. So just a lot of bad stuff going on. We're not killing any of them. Try for a Bash Typhoon. That doesn't work. Again, actually, I see this and think this would be a good idea. But I get the positioning completely wrong. What I needed to do was blow him off this way. So that did not work out very well. Now we're still we were behind for a second in terms of damage. I get the kick on the lasso. Lasso's a pretty good thing to kick, but as you can see, I definitely wanted to have a kick for that flash heal. If I kick the flash heal instead, we're much closer to a kill. It's a very scary moment here. I think we end up overlapping a lot of defensives. He uses his rewind on me. I go flying there, and I think what happens is I'm leaping to the priest as the shaman, and as soon as I get past the shaman, he uses his boop. Yeah. And so I get absolutely tossed. But I see, again, like the last round that I played with this warrior, he Stormbolts the shaman. I don't love that. I would rather we be rotating Stormbolt on with Mighty Bash on the healer, but and then I can maim the kill target. But such is life. again, we're doing so much pressure that the hunter is forced to use his CC on us, and we end up getting the win. Um, so big takeaways from that: my maims were not great, my kicks were not perfect, and my typhoons definitely did not always come off. The things I'm doing well, I'm obviously putting out really strong pressure. And not only that, I think one of the key aspects is that I am pressuring what's near me. I'm keeping my uptime high, and that is absolutely critical at all levels of this game. Um, but yeah, so that is a bit of how I go through um, my own gameplay, and even though this was a 5-1 lobby, there's still a lot that I could do better. Right? There's still things that I can improve on. I can always get those stuns better. I can always get that CC better. I can always get those kicks better. Um, and there's always going to be room for improvement. There will always be spots towards the top of the hill um, that I can reach. So, anyway, I hope this was helpful. Um, Thank you so much if you've made it this far. I hope that you implement this in your own games, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.